It's a big club, and you ain't in it. You and I are not in the big club. And by the way, it's the same big club they used to beat you over the head with all day long when they tell you what to believe. All day long, beating you over the head in their media, telling you what to believe, what to think, and what to buy. The table is tilted, folks. The game is rigged. And nobody seems to notice. Nobody seems to care. There's another jack-off I can do without. I'm tired of being told who to admire in this country. Aren't you sick of being told who your heroes ought to be? Being told who you ought to be looking up to. I'll choose my own heroes, thank you very much. And fuck Dr. Phil, too. Dr. Phil said I should express my emotions, so that's what I'm doing.
If you got this far in this video, I have a saying about giving a rat's ass that's kind of funny. That how can you give a rat's ass? The ass of the rat isn't yours to give, so let the rat keep his ass. Or you can pick up a rat and hand him to somebody else's ass first, and yes, you're giving a rat's ass. And if the other person wants to accept the rat ass first, to give a rat's ass, you're sort of offering up the rat's ass, and it's up to the other person if he wants to accept. So I'll have another saying too, that in some certain things, that if a rat's ass should really be offered or even given about a particular subject. So that's what I say about tolerance to a certain thing. You can say sometimes you give a shit. There's some and I also have a thing where I say there's certain aspects of giving a shit or giving a fuck. It's not that I don't give a shit or give a fuck. It's there's some aspects of giving a shit or giving a fuck that I don't give a shit or a fuck about. And at any given time, when and where should a rat's ass be given, or a fuck be given, or a shit be given, or even offered? You know what I mean? So yeah, we have that motto there about when you tolerate something or other person tolerates you. That's where I say, let the rat keep his ass. You know what I mean? The rat's ass isn't yours to give. Or is not mine to give. Let the rat keep his ass. It belongs to the rat. Let the rat keep his ass. So that kind of tells you something about tolerance. You know, live and let live, even if you do it in a smirky, smart-ass kind of a way. Alright, what's up, yins guys? Time for another video. And I think I'm gonna open this video up with an opening joke. I mean, I say this on my social media too. I made this joke with my girlfriend and all that, and some other people that I work jobs next to and shit like that. Yeah, another kind of new satellite TV service. Every single person you watch, say if it's movies, all the characters are doing and saying passive-aggressive innuendos to each other and everything else. It's a new service. It's called Indirect TV. Get it instead of, I messed up the joke, but instead of, you know what I mean, get it instead of Direct TV. Indirect TV. I actually seriously think now that whether you got cable or whether you got anything of that nature, I think I'm actually a firm believer that we are actually watching indirect TV now, because there's people telling you what to think, what to believe. The late George Carlin was saying that in one of the video clips, and that was back in the fucking 80s. And now you got it now. Indirect passive aggression on TV, these nice TV show hosts that dress and act all nice that you sort of like a little bit. I mean, I was watching right after GMA, after the news and after GMA in the morning, Kelly and Ryan, you know. Yeah, they made a statement like, literally, we got the empathy police on there. We got indirect TV. You got these people that wear their hair, act all nice, and you sort of like them, and they say passive-aggressive shit. Literally, practically, when you think it's all in your head and people want to say you're crazy or whatever, lighten up. It's like they're literally making bolder statements now. I heard a statement from those two
just a couple days ago, literally telling you that, yeah, Kelly was saying that. She's all with her blonde hair, acting all nice and saying, I'm trying not to laugh when I say this. I kid you not. I wish I had a thing where I can record it or find a old clip from YouTube. Say, you know how they put their stuff on YouTube. Some people do, but she literally said, these people have the right to passively aggressively psychoanalyze people, but they do it in a rather subtle and witty kind of way. You know, some people with a nice blonde hair and voice, and you got the guy. And just like I told you about our news people, I seen in the morning news one time talking about, oh, there's all this toxic masculinity and all that, literally said, you know. Anyway, Kelly and Ryan, she actually says, you ready for this? I kid you not. She goes, if you're not moved by something you or other you see on TV, you know, I forget the whole conversation, but literally she actually quoted it and says, if you're not moved by some event or something that you see on TV, in a nutshell, this is what she was saying. She literally quoted that if you're not moved, you're expected to be moved, okay? She called it what's that word? Sociopathy. She says anybody that's not moved by something, she's literally saying right on TV, they're doing it in that nice voice. You see these, well, we had Kelly and Ryan on ABC, and what do you guys got? Some kind of different people that are, you know, generally, they do that shit on the radio too. A dude and a chick, nice, you kind of like them. Oh, they're real nice. They can be religious or they can be secular. They can be not claiming any religious affiliation. They're, you don't even know their political affiliation all the time. But she literally says, who the fuck is she to actually psychoanalyze people? So you're on TV. You're just a face on TV, one of a gazillion people on TV, right? And these people say this shit right on TV like they're talking to you. Acting like that's almost like some boss in a workplace or somebody. It's a preacher in church. Oh, they're to be like, oh, I'm not talking to anybody in particular, but anybody that's... But she literally says, if you're not moved by an event you see on TV, something that you're told on, and you got to keep having in your mind all the shit that you're seeing on TV news, the different kind of new way that they're changing the new normal now, and all the shit they're putting on TV, you're expected to feel emotion, and you're required to feel emotion and feel empathy for. It could be everything from some 12-year-old that decides, a boy that decides they want to be a girl and the parents are saying they're going to live their truth. That's only one of the examples of all this other crazy shit like, you're required to care. If it's like not, everybody according to their own. You're not expected, or you're not allowed really in America, land of the free, you're not really supposed to be just tolerant. Just say, well, they don't want that attitude, everybody according to their own, or whatever floats your boat. You're literally, she actually said it right on there. If you don't, if you're not moved by an event, some major event you see on TV, and they're talking about so much shit, they always do that talk in there. She literally said, if you're not moved, then that's considered sociopathy. So anybody that isn't moved by something that the television tells you're supposed to be moved by, and if you don't look up to and consider brave, what new normal they're saying is brave now, and anything about, and maybe you walk around with a cocky look on your face, but every time somebody is fucking starving in the world or suffering in the world, yes, don't get me wrong, you do give a shit. But then there's all this new shit now. Then you're out there in society with a lot of these people, and you see these people make these fake-ass faces every time that somebody they barely know has a baby. It could be all kind of... Yeah, there's these crowds. A lot of times in school we're taught this shit too. People you went to school with, and a lot of your stuff that when you're younger, your parents went to church with. You see all these other people will look down on you right away. There's empathy police. Before I heard this term virtue signaling, you're hearing on hearing on TV, talk shows, on YouTube, virtue signaling. And before I knew what the fuck virtue signaling is, you know, when I heard that word virtue signaling, back when I was a fucking teenager back in school, I never heard of that term. But when I heard it, hearing it these days, I'm looking at back all that other shit people pulled, and everybody's acting like a bunch of school kids and make faces at you if you're not this or that, or if you think this or that. You got to ask permission. Okay? Ask people for a copy of their manifesto in their. Okay, what am I supposed to think and feel here? And then I'm looking at. I hear the words virtue signaling, and I'm like, fuck. That's the shit that they were doing back when I was fucking school, but I didn't regard it as virtue signaling. We called it just a variety of names. We called it a variety of things, and there's usually swear words that we call it. We usually say in a nutshell, we say fucking bullshit. We say it's fucking bullshit because we didn't know of those labels like virtue signaling. There was a few words that some of us did say, but most of us were just saying it's a bunch of fucked up hypocritical bullshit. Or now I'm actually calling it in some cases theater. The big theatrics. It's drama and theatrics. That's what the fuck it is. Fake ass drama and the theatrics and but yeah. But this is one of the first times I hear people outright saying it. You hear it every once in a while. One time you'll see somebody on YouTube saying it. Different people, if you follow different kind of things. Sometimes you will see some preachers say it. Certain versions of it. They don't say all the same words. But sometimes they call it virtue signaling because they won't do it all right. But then people start getting a little bolder on TV and they'll literally say, there's something wrong with you. You need to go get some therapy or something. If you're not moved by this thing on TV that everybody else is supposed to be moved by, and that they do the theatrics on or whatever the fuck you're supposed to be moved by, then you're a sociopath. It's called sociopathy. So that's what not bashing the people personally, but that's how they get you. I'm not saying they should jump off a cliff, don't get me wrong, but that's what the hell these people are doing now, you know what I mean? I'm like, they're getting a little bolder. I wish I had the clip to play for you, but god damn, you know what I mean? But yeah, they're doing that in like people in colleges now. You're hearing of it, and every crowd you're at, you know what I mean? Every single person, and some of us, select a choice amount of friends, and the hell with everybody else. And man, all these other people that are highly social and have to have all these people around looking for people to impress. Man, that never changed when I was a teenager. Just the ideas, the same bullshit. They do the same bullshit, but a different moral platform that's in high fashion now. The rule book has changed. The moral platform, now, and they're even rewriting the stuff that the abnormal psychology now, or abnormal psychiatry. They're literally custom tailored rewriting that now, and calling some of us more peaceful people that just calling us delusional now. If we it don't got to be the preacher anymore, it's the secular side. Like I said before too, repeatedly in other YouTube videos, that if it's in the religion, they rewrite the platform, the moral platform, from preacher to preacher, church to church. You almost want to ask them, beside the Bible, what other manifesto, moral platform clique I'm supposed to follow. Then the secular side, both sides want you to come to an altar crying and hurting, and then you work your way up to being one of them. If you walk around too prideful or too confident or cocky look on your face, you know, you're considered somebody that knows it all, and you're supposed to, you're supposed to worship at somebody else's feet or whatever. You're not supposed to be cordial or when they're telling you some shit in some kind of super cool way, you're not allowed to be super cool back in and mutually talk to them any kind of a way, or even if you're trying to be nice and agree with some of them, you get indicated right away. It indicates right away. There's signals and subtle hints in so many ways. The way you're supposed to be. You're supposed to allow yourself to be torn down, and you're supposed to have this fear that you're going to be alone and isolated, don't have no friends, and maybe eventually you'll even be blocked from making a living. You know, tell you what you think. You know, you have to. Don't laugh. I seen a couple of things that I applied for that's literally like a psychological test or whatever too, asking you these questions. That should be illegal, really, violation of your rights. But you have to ask this questionnaire. There was like a workplace agency that you go to. In our area called Express. You look at all this shit. Well, there's a couple other places too that I applied for. It's everything go online. I ought to show you some of these. I can look on YouTube and there's probably other people talking about it. It's all over the fucking world, you know, literally. But it kind of makes you laugh. There's a lot of people that like instead of actually fear of being isolated and being alone, you know, trying to scare you and subtly threaten you with that bullshit. People ought to be standing up against that, you know what I mean?